Okay, today's topic is on whether or not league racing itself should be considered an esport. Of course, this is purely my thought on the matter, and if you have some banter, rebuttal, or agreements to this topic, then leave yours down in the comments section down below. Now, on Twitter, Venom left an opinionated tweet that said, slapping esports on basic league racing is dumb, which at most is good for a chuckle and then just to scroll past and forget about it. Nothing to really grab your pitchforks out and start a fuss about it. Yet I saw that tweet 2 days later and it had a lot of comments on it, so I checked it out and oh my god, the back and forth. It was a little embarrassing to read and witness. Some of it made sense, some of it was gibberish, some of it was just outright rude. But all in all, after reading the replies and doing my own little bit of research, I honestly think putting esports on Tora, ORL, and the Delta races, and all these events, it's totally fine. It doesn't hurt to put that on, and it fits what is going on here perfectly. And here are some examples why. Let's define the word esports. Esports is a form of competition using video games. Most commonly, esports takes the form of organized, multiplayer video game competitions, particularly between professional players and teams. Now, the wiki page dives deep into esports and even brings up the question, is it even a sport? That brings up an entirely different question now, doesn't it? Is competitive video games even a sport? Now let's define the word sport. Sport includes all forms of competitive physical activities or games which, through casual or organized participation, aim to use, maintain, or improve physical ability and skills while providing enjoyment to participants and in some cases entertainment for spectators. Now let's look into this a little deeper. The sport includes all forms of competitive physical activity or games. Emphasis on all forms and games. Let's look at this even more. Through casual or organized participation. This could be any form of casual or anything organized, so let's say an organized race on a Thursday or Sunday night. Hell, at this definition, Muddy Gamer's Sunday spec racing is considered a sport due to the organizing and the prep that goes into it, and it's purely for providing enjoyment to participants and spectators as we love to race, and it's streamed on multiple channels, and I create a highlight video. There is not only a racing community here, but an audience as well. So let's look at the opinion, which is just that, an opinion. Slapping esports on basic league racing is dumb. Well, I disagree. No, it's not. It's a legit label they could use to advertise abroad, and it's fitting. Tora has every right to say TASCAR esports series if they really wanted to. By all definitions, that is an esport. It's an organized event of a video game that uses skills for enjoyment to participants while entertaining spectators. Same goes for the currently running ORL Maserati series in the Delta Retro GT series. They could properly slap the esports on their leagues and it would be correct. It wouldn't be false advertising. Is competitive esports even a sport? That is a massive topic that deserves its own focus, but the short and sweet answer is yes. Back on the topic and opinions of others and my reply. Horde SS said, people slap esport onto anything to attract viewers and drivers. LMO, it's not esports unless you get some sort of reward out of it. And by definitions used above, that is wrong. Not all sports are rewarded with a prize. It's usually used to find out who is best among your friends or community for bragging rights. That's how community racing started all those years ago. And yes, in a more professional setup, there is a prize, but that goes for the champion, and that usually starts from the bottom and works its way to the top. Wildwind7 said, games are esports, not leagues. By your theory, any recreational sports league is not a sport. So my 6-year-old son is playing soccer, but it's not a sport? Now, I see his point there, and I agree and I disagree. I wouldn't say Forza itself is an esport. That's just a game. What happens within Forza can be turned into an esport. Thus, we have anything from community races all the way up to not WRC, but Le Mans and the Forza RC. Forza RC is supposed to be the pinnacle of esports for Forza, but that in itself is just league racing. It has rules, it has standings, it has so much going into it, but it's just a higher grade of esports. And then I see a reply from Harmonic that was going towards Wildwin, and he put, "That's not the point here. The point is that esports refers to a professional competitive level of play, and casual leagues that add esports to their titles of their series aren't being honest about the caliber of their events." And this, I disagree with him for my above reason, and that's 100% why I disagree with him. Any level of competition is considered a sport. Even the definition of the word sport says that. Even the esport definition debunks this opinion of his. League racing is an organized, competitive, multiplayer video game event that is for the community and professional racers alike. Just because it is beneath some people doesn't make it any less of an esport than the professional level stuff. It's just on another level. No one is trying to take away your accomplishments from the Forza RC just because somebody says esports in front of the Maserati League. But we play the same game with mostly the same rules, and this is why we have amateur leagues and professional leagues. You gotta start somewhere. Now, you wouldn't compare Little League football to the NFL, but they are playing the same sport, so should the Little League remove the term sport from their advertising flyers to the parents? It doesn't make sense. Do we need another label, perhaps, so everyone can have their own little group of people? Should we have amateur Forza esports? Should we have the professional Forza esports? World Championship esports? I mean, Forza itself tried to say that the commentator update was to make the game esports ready, and surely they weren't updating their game just for their one event, Forza RC. That esports ready event or update was for the community to use as well. I mean, I know many more people, YMTV and everybody uses the commentator to commentate races and stream it on Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. The community uses it much more than the actual Forza Motorsport 7 or even Forza RC channels, so I mean, what gives there? But that is it for this little topic. One thing I noticed is the community needs to learn how to discuss and debate without quickly assuming things, throwing mud, talking down to people who aren't in a professional tournament or professional team, and just grow up a little bit. Again, someone's opinion does not mean you need to bust out the pitchforks and torches each time you don't agree with it. Then again, watch what you say. Sometimes it just makes you look silly. Thank you so much. Let me know what your thoughts are on this goofball topic. It's kind of a non-issue. It's just an opinion. It's not like an official rule change or anything on any level. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.